Good afternoon again. Hello, how are you? I'm back again after a week, and welcome back to my house. It's been a while, and today is time for another talk. Actually, my plan was totally different, to go back to the 17th century and discuss this wonderful etching by my good friend Rembrandt of the Shell. You know, it's a really important and really famous etching, but I decided to just postpone that to a later one because I got so many questions about my little blue friends here. Two statuettes from Egypt that I have in my collection as well. And they actually have a link with the current day situation, because what these guys, these beauties, are amulets. Amulets against pretty much everything you can think up to. Of course, 7,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, that's when these statuettes were made, and they were made in the millions because they were really popular to ward off evil spirits, to ward off disease and situations that one would occur in. My favorite one, and that's the superstar of Egyptian heroes, is this little one. It's Bes. It's an ugly guy, he's fat, he has long, elongated arms to ward off evil spirits. As you see, he has these really quirky looks on his face. Sometimes Egyptian families would decorate him with feathers, etc., to ward off as much spirits as possible. The funkier he looked, the better. Bes is the superstar of Egyptian deities. He was in every Egyptian household. People would decorate their beds, their doors, etc., with little old Bes here, so he could ward off evil spirits. They even found tattoos of Bes, or sticking out his tongue even, like, sticking out his tongue, and they tattooed Bes on the inner thigh of women to ward off bad men and to give birth to successful babies. Bes was the statuette that one would need nowadays, because Bes was the guarantee, almost, so to not get diseases, to get all the evil gods out of the house, and this guy was really the superstar of the Egyptian household. They were made in the millions, so they're quite abundant. It's quite easy to get one, like you see, and they're really nice and quite quirky, because Bes comes in all kinds of alterations, with drums that he's beating, with all kinds of snakes and animals that he uses to ward off evil spirits. So if you had Bes and he was successful, you would not end up in the grave before it was your time. But if you ended up in the grave and you were on top of the food chain of Egyptian society, another deity would be given to you for in the afterlife. And that's this beautiful hippopotamus statue. They're quite rare. And actually they don't really have a certain deity name, because they're made in many quantities. Decorated in, as you can see maybe, in lotus leaves. So, as you know, the hippopotamus lives in the Nile and is covered in lotus leaves when he comes up. So they designed this beautiful pattern of lotus leaves to add it on him, so he resembles the original hippopotamus. And also the lotus leaf is a symbol, of course, of regeneration. The lotus regenerates out of the water. And the hippopotamus in Egyptian times was considered one of the most terrifying animals. You know, they were deadly. They're still, by the way, more death secure because of hippopotamuses than of lions in Africa, actually. Yeah? So the hippopotamus was considered a really dangerous animal, but also a guardian in the afterlife. And also the idea of the lotus leaves that we see on the hippopotamus, and the hippopotamus coming out of the water, that's a symbol of regeneration. So this is a statuette that one would find together with a mummy. It's funny that of some little hippopotamus statuettes, they broke off the legs. They just destroyed the legs or smashed a part of the sculpture as a kind of wishful thinking for in the afterlife, that the person regenerating would not be attacked by these little pesky fellas, the hippopotami. They're really lovely subjects. I think the Egyptians were as concerned with the afterlife as some people are now. I mean, these are the things that would ward off plagues. The plagues that are now, of course, really relevant with Pesach being busy. You know, all the plagues that were cast on by God to let the Jewish people be freed out of slavery. So they're really quite relevant also for this period, and hopefully also for the whole corona thingy that my little Bes here will protect me in the future. I hope you like this little trinket of knowledge. It's just an in-between talk this time. And next time we'll be more serious and consider good old Rembrandt here, the beautiful etching of a shell that he made in the Rembrandt house, by the way, the famous house overlooking the harbor of Amsterdam. I hope you like it this time, and I promise I will be back sooner. Maybe in a few days, or a day or 4. Enjoy the lovely weather, stay alive, don't die, and please remain sane. Hope to see you again. Cheerio, bye bye.